Yo, what up? It is your boy Power Antonio with another video. Today we're doing kind of a reaction video, and I cannot show you the screen. If any of you can put a site that I can video record myself and watch the video as well, that would be good. So today we're watching 7 true stories from Reddit. Paranormal, Stalker, or Skinwalker. I don't know what a Skinwalker is. So let's hope I don't get scared of this shit. Now, this video is 51 minutes long, but I'm not gonna watch the whole entirety of the video, so if you want to watch it, I'm gonna put the name of the video in the link below. I'm not gonna have the actual link, but I'm just gonna put it what it actually is. So, if you guys enjoyed, oh my god, I'm already doing the exit already. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like down below. Hopefully you like this. Like I said, I'm kind of new to the channel. This is only like maybe my 7th video. I think it's my 8th, but I'm not sure. I'm still new. I'm thinking of making a new intro. I'm not quite sure about that either. But let's get straight into the video. I hope you can hear what this video is saying. And let's get in.
When I graduated high school, I had grown up with my grandparents, but decided to move to a different and much larger city to live with my dad for the first time in 12 years. I somewhat knew the city already because I spent my summer with him, but this would be the first time I would ever have the freedom of an adult to come and go as I pleased, drive my car anywhere, smoke cigarettes whenever I wanted. I was excited, though sad to leave all my friends. As soon as I settled in, my dad and stepmom sat me down to discuss the few rules and what I needed to know about the complex. Basic things like go wherever you want, but let us know when you leave and when you're coming back, even if it's 2 a.m. Oh, and you'll have to park on the street because the complex has limited parking. One more thing. There's a neighborhood creep. This guy, George, was well known to all the women at the complex, as well as the police that patrolled the area. He was tall and fairly huge, very intimidating looking. My parents were pretty certain that he would leave me alone for one reason: my dad. Though George had a habit of stalking other women in the complex. He would stop to find a new target if a man would show up at their place. A brother, a lover, or father. It didn't matter what he was to the women, or what he looked like. George would back off immediately. Since I lived with my dad, who was also quite tall and rather big, I felt also confident that I would be alright. And I was, for a time. It started about 6 months after I moved in. My stepmom and dad were fighting a lot more until she got up and left him. One night, I was sitting on my porch having a cigarette, browsing Facebook or whatever. I wish I could say that I felt like I was being watched, but I probably just looked up because I felt a bug or something. George was standing 15 feet away, a little behind.
Okay. How do you feel if you're being watched? And then you say it's gotta be like a bug on your shoulder or something like that. How do you get that? I'm starting to get confused here.
Tree, staring intently at me. I nearly dropped my cigarette. Shakingly, I stubbed it out and went inside. I was home alone, so I made sure to lock all my doors and then play video games in my room. I told myself I was probably just paranoid. The next morning, I got up for my morning cigarette and coffee. Lo and behold, minutes after I got into my porch, George came ambling out of his apartment to look my way. I sucked down my cigarette and went back inside. This pattern continued for a couple weeks. It was like George stood at his sliding glass door peeking out, waiting to see when I would pop out. I told my dad about it, and he tried to sit with me whenever I went out to smoke. If he came with me, George wouldn't even peep a head out his door. Of course, the other women in the complex have already tried to call the police about George. But he lives in the complex, and staring isn't a crime, so there wasn't much they could do. I didn't know how far George had taken it with the other women before. With that info in my mind, I knew that calling wouldn't be much use. Things slowly escalated. Once my stepmom left, I had access to her parking spot. So I only had 3 ways to get from my car to the apartment depending on how I parked. One of the ways just went past George's apartment, about 5 feet from his door. Since I got off work late most nights, I avoided that route as much as possible. Slowly but surely, he memorized my schedule. He would be on one of the paths when I was coming home, not directly on the concrete, but a few feet away on the grass, behind a tree. It was like he thought I couldn't see him. Picture a child hiding terribly behind a tree. You can see 90% of their body and you know that they are there. That's what he would do. I would just run past him, avoid eye contact, but prepare to scream if I ever heard him come after me. I started to carry my keys between my fingertips. I bought a pocket knife and I would walk from my car with it halfway open already, even though I have never been in any kind of fight in my life. Around this time, I believe my mom was trying to find me free self-defense classes, since I couldn't afford anything on my tight budget. My dad was steadily getting more and more pissed off as George edged closer and closer, to escalating as the days went by. It went from November to May. If my dad wasn't home, I would lock my bedroom door and keep my knife under my pillow. I would Skype all night with my boyfriend, just so someone could call 911 for me if need be. I put a bunch of flower pots in front of my bedroom window so that no one could get in silently. I started sitting on the floor of my porch, below the wall out of sight to smoke, but angled so I could see him if he walked up to it. Nightmares of being kidnapped or murdered started to invade my sleep every night. Then one day my neighbor, Shell, was gossiping to me. "Did you hear about George?" "No." "He got arrested last night. In the complex parking lot, there's a big sort of electrical power box. It stands about waist high and perhaps about 2 to 3 feet wide. About 10 minutes before, I was supposed to come home and park right in front of it. Some lady with her kid walked by and saw George sitting on the box, jerking it. Was he waiting there for me? Jerking off to the thought of me seeing him? Ugh, the thought of that makes me want to puke and scares the hell out.
Okay, oh my god, this story is already creeping me out. How you gotta jerk off to a electric box? And imagine her standing there. You're just supposed to sit there and like, oh yeah. Is that what you do? I don't understand. And a little boy saw this, I think. That's disgusting. 8 minutes already? Alright. Well, I'm just gonna say that's because my phone stops recording at any moment for some unknown reason. So if you enjoyed this video, it's gotta keep going, but if you enjoyed this video, then I'll probably make a part 2 to this. Hopefully. And I'll make sure just to put the link down below. And make sure to subscribe. I'm looking, since I'm new, sort of. I'm looking to get 10 subscribers. I only got 2 so far. Not the greatest start, but hopefully we can make it there. So if you can give me some